All right, guys, welcome to another session under Data Analytics for Starter. And I hope you are enjoying the series and this is helping you to learn. If this is helping you to learn, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that whenever I post a new video, you automatically get a notification. All right, so in today's video, we're going to understand who all people are important for a data analytics project, whom you should be including, and what is the exact role they're supposed to perform. Also, as many of us are aspiring to become a data scientist or a data analytics analyst in the future, so you should also know what are the key characteristics you should have, and you should start working on them. Stay tuned, watch the video. So now we're gonna take a first look into what is the standard team type, not size, a standard team type for a data analytics project. Let us see who can be the member, and if at all you wanted to choose up your team, then who all people should be part of your team members. You will be first needing the first category of team member gonna be the business users. Which is the first set. The second set of people who should be the project sponsors. We're going to come back and elaborate all of this type. The third category should be somebody from the project management part. The fourth category of people should be a business intelligence analyst. There is a significant difference between business analyst and business intelligence analyst. We'll be coming to that. Number 5, we're gonna also need somebody from the database administration side. Number 6, you also need some data engineers. And last, but of course not the least, the 7th category of people, we will be needing the data analyst or the data scientists. Now let us understand what all the functionalities are and what exactly they will be performing, or what is the task they are supposed to perform, or what are the key skill set they should be having. Now the business users are basically the people who understand the domain of the business. For example, if at all we are trying to create one application for a engineering college, so I'll be expecting somebody who has worked as faculty and also been a student, so that what is the process usually the business goes through, they should be able to tell clear upfront. And this needs a lot of expertise, guys, because they are the people who will come forward and tell that whether the decisions what you are trying to conclude out of the research or out of the complete project, whether that makes sense or not, which is obviously important, because otherwise you cannot create a good story to tell it to your customer. The second set of people, we always strongly recommend to include somebody from the client side. So they are basically your clients. So they should be the integral part of the project, and it is expected that at every phase or life cycle of your project, you discuss with the client and see to it that whatever the business goals or the work direction you are preparing for the project, it is matching with the expectations of the client. Otherwise, we have seen many number of data science, or rather, as a matter of fact, software engineering projects also to fail to meet the client expectations. And once the project is built, there are very less opportunities that you can actually go ahead and change couple of things, and that will cost or incur lot of additional cost, which will definitely not be bared by the customer. As a company who is handling the project, they have to bear that, and who wants to do a business which is not profitable? Everybody hates a business which is going into losses. So including the project sponsor, the people from the client side, is another very crucial key component. The third part, the project managers or the project management people, they're the people who can drive or plan the project deliverables, who knows how to manage people, who knows how to manage project deliverables, who are good at discussing with the internal team and try to figure out who is the best person to do one specific task. So these people are basically man management people. Sometimes they are technical, does not matter, because if they understand the orientation of the organization or the business objective of the organization, and as good as they understand the value for the client, they are good to go in this component or in this part of the team. Moving forward, the fourth component or the fourth set of people who actually come forward and helps you to realize what are the measurable outcomes on the client's domain. So let us quickly differentiate between business user and business analyst. The business users gives you insight. They're the people in the process. They tells what happens when exactly this business is supposed to go correctly or go incorrectly. The business analyst, on the other hand, goes forward and try to figure out what can be measured from this particular business process. For an example, if at all we are doing an analytics project for a supermarket, and then bringing new stock is one of the process. Now, when I bring new stocks, what all I should be measuring as a part of that process, whether the ordered items are delivered on time or not. Subsequently, whether are we over purchasing which is already in the stock. So these are the measurable outcomes from the process. So you should actually go ahead and try to understand that. Moving further, the fifth set of people, as discussed, they are the database administrators. These people are very good in generating or analyzing reports or building reports, creating the data structures, or moving the data from one source to another source. They are basically the guys who will manage the complete storage of your data. And that will also include replication, that will also include some sort of integrity verification, that will also include backups and all these parts, which is very crucial for a project. The subcomponent of those people, the database administrators, are nothing but our data engineers. So basically a data engineer, what they will do, they will fetch the data for you to perform multiple analytics. You will go to them and say, see, I'll be needing these 5 data points for these 6 attributes. So they will write down the SQL or subsequently the NoSQL queries for you, and they will help you to fetch the data. And lastly, but not the least, the data scientist. These people are one of the most valued people in this complete project because they will write the algorithm, they will write the code, and they will build the models. And finally, they will also generate the conclusions for your business purposes. Now, from these conclusions, the client will be getting a clear indication whether the new proposals or the new methods or the new policies what the client is actually trying to implement, whether those gonna get benefited or not, or those will be valuable, value addition or not. So this is nothing but directly generating the business outcomes or business objectives. Now, for a complete team, so we're gonna need this 7 set of people who are gonna actually go ahead and identify whether we're gonna have the right set of people or not. If at all I lack any of these components or any of this set of people, obviously I will not be successful in running a good data analytics project. So these 7 people are very important for me. Now let us see, as we understand that the data scientists are one of the very key characteristics or the very key member of the team. If at all we try to include some engineer or train some engineer or include some engineer under this data scientist category, then what are the skill sets they should be having? So the next component goes as skills of or mandatory skills of data analysts or data scientists, for a matter of fact. So what are the skill sets I should be having compulsory? The first skill supposed to be the quantitative skill. The second skill, I should be having a critical thinking. The third component, I should be creative. And the fourth component, say the last for a matter of fact, or last but one matter of fact, I should be good at communication. And once again, last but not the least, good technical knowledge. Now let us see what all these components can mean, and if at all we are trying to recruit somebody under these categories, then how we should be measuring their performances or how we should be understanding their performances. The quant or quantitative skills are directly related to the statistical knowledge, because as you know, as a data scientist or as a data analyst, you are supposed to run multiple clustering, classification, regression, and correlation models. And where the probabilistic theory or the random sampling theory, those plays a very key or major role. So if at all I cannot model my algorithm correctly mathematically, then it is very obvious that the upcoming phases I will be failing in the project. So first thing first, I should be very good at maths or rather in statistics. The second component is also very important, what we call critical thinking. The data scientists or the data analyst, wherever you see a set of data, you should be ready to ask multiple questions. Maybe some of the times the customer is not asking the questions, but rather to get to the customer's actual question, you should ask a lot of intermediate questions on the data. Or rather, in our data science industry, what we call question everything. So that is one of the key component or a key characteristics or a key skill. Next, we should be very creative, because thinking out of the box always play a major role. I saw a couple of data scientists who can actually take a look into the data, get an outcome on the data when we tabulate or when we project the data in front of graphs. They actually go ahead and try to make a lot of conclusion, which in the very first place does not make sense, but down the line when we struggle couple of months with the data, we understand, yes, that's what is happening. So thinking out of the box is very important characteristics. Moving further, the communication skill is very important here, because it is required to tell stories in an understandable format for the customers. It's very important. And then nevertheless, communication also a major role in collaboration, because as we know, in this project we'll be having some people who only understand the business but not technology. We'll be also getting some people who only understand the technology, not really concerned about the business. Some of the people are not really bothered about the complete business outcomes or the technology. They are just doing a small part in the complete business process. And then if at all I'm not good at communications, making a good collaboration on this all team members or this group of people gonna be very difficult. So communication, one of the very key factors. And then the final component comes, which is last but not the least, the technical knowledge. It is often seen that a data scientist is a person who should be considered as a complete package, who knows how to do the math for an algorithm, design the algorithm, think out of the box, tell everybody what they are thinking, and at the end of the day, code and prove what exactly they are thinking about it. So putting all these things together, this makes a complete package for a data scientist or a data analyst. Now let us quickly summarize. In a team, we will be having the business users, the project sponsors, the project management people. We will be needing somebody from the business intelligence analyst or the business analyst. We'll be needing somebody who are very good with the database administration. They manage your storage. And then we'll be needing some data engineers who will clean the data and present to you for your analysis. And finally, one of the key component or the key members of the team, where you'll be needing somebody on the data scientist. And to understand what are the key characteristics of the data scientists, a data scientist should be good at quantitative skills, should be good at critical thinking, should be very creative, should be good at communications, and of course, definitely should have some sound knowledge on the technology, which software to use, whether I should go for a machine learning, if at all I'm going for a machine learning, should I go for a supervised learning or I should go for a unsupervised learning. So those components gonna be very important to understand. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of one more video session here. Hope you have understood who all are the people who plays a major role, how their roles are integratable, and how they should collaborate and work together. And at the same time, you have also understood what all key characteristics or the basic characteristics you should have to work on a data analytics project as a data scientist. I hope you liked this video, your learning was useful, and see you in the next video. Till time, stay safe, stay healthy.